France is in flames, and Fulk, the heroic, at least right now, decided to interject himself and become involved after one of his holdings was besieged by the rebel forces. The rebel forces which had actually approached him previously. In fact, it was his ward, his troublesome ward, one of the offspring of a king of France, who had approached Fulk and asked him to join in their rebellion, and he swatted them away. And then he decided to take up arms on behalf of his liege, the King of France, who is allied with the King of England. Unfortunately, though, Fulk's armies were defeated on the field of battle after troops from Toulouse arrived and dramatically at the last moment changed the course of battle. Hello everybody, Realm Builder Guy here, and welcome back to the channel. And that is the situation that we, i.e. Fulk, the rude, the quarrelsome, the heroic, finds himself in today's episode. Now, in the last episode, of course, as just recapped, his armies were defeated on the field of battle. He's since had to retreat back up north, where his army is recovering, as it were. And the French forces, together with the English forces, predominantly English forces, are retaking some of their holdings, whilst Vendôme is being besieged by this large force of troops from the south. It looks like we have here troops from Gascogne and Toulouse. So it's rather precarious right now. Without the English, I would say the King of France is doomed. But we will see where this progresses. To begin with, though, Fulk will simply he'll have to reconvene his forces near Reims in the Champagne, in his holdings there, and rebuild before he can even think of marching anywhere. The other topic to address real quick is something that's been brought up, and I've thought about it and then continuously just honestly forgot about it, was moving our realm capital from Tours, the historical of the county of Touraine, to actually the capital of the county of Anjou in Angers. Now, of course, we can't make that change right now because we are at war, but that is something to look at doing in future as we move closer and do want to become the Dukes of Anjou at some point in the future. But for right now, that's not really on the cards, as we're still rebuilding the army here. Oh, I do just see that the head of faith, Pope Benedictus, would give us a claim on the Duchy of Gascogne. Interesting. I do like this idea. It would cost 400 piety. Gain a pressed claim. See Count Guillaume, Liberty faction against us. Give us a pressed claim on the Duchy of Gascogne, which is of course important because that then gets inherited. Now, the Duchess Sibylle would lose opinion of us, but I don't really care. So we are going to request this claim and get it given to us by the Pope here in the near future. Excellent. Excellent. So we spent the piety wisely. Let's go down here to this battle, if we can get to it, as the King of France has engaged the Gascogne rebels at the Battle of Vendôme, which will alleviate the siege there, which would be very, very important. Somehow they're just barely hanging on. We'll speed this up, and that is the end of that. The rebels have been moved, and you have died. Oh my goodness. Oh wow, what a way to start an episode, everybody. You have died. Duke Fulk of Berry rests in the arms of the Lord at 65 years of age. He died of old age. A zealous man, he fought for the glory of God against the heathens in one of the greatest holy wars of recent history. Duke Joffrey ascends to the throne, loyal to his spouse and family. Joffrey is certain to place the good of his dynasty above all personal concerns. We continue as Duke Joffrey, and now it is time to hit pause real quick and take a look at Duke Joffrey. Of course, he holds the title of the Duchy of Berry, the Duchy of Poitiers, County of Touraine, Vendôme, and Anjou. Whereas now the Duchy of Champagne has gone to Julien, the brother, the third son, or technically in rank of birth, he was the fourth son of Fulk. So the lands have been broken up, but as I've always said, I am okay with that, actually. I am more than okay with that, simply because the Angevin holdings were always here on the west side of France, never extended to the west side of Paris, east of Paris, in the Champagne. So that is the situation he finds himself in now. So let's go back to Joffrey. But I believe first let's have a moment for Fulk. Duke Fulk, who was the Duke of Berry, Champagne, and Poitiers, but way back when started simply as the Count of Touraine. He then eventually expanded into, gaining Anjou, Vendôme, and Blois, then forming the Duchy of Berry. He's been rumored to have murdered his brother Joffrey to then sweep in and push out his niece Amélie, who then became the Queen of Pomerania, where she still is. The primary heir is Joffrey of Berry, by the way. He fought in the Baltic Crusade valiantly, where though he lost his second son, his favorite son, Robert d'Anjou, but claimed glory in the eyes of the papacy, as well as money, and then extended the Anjou holdings on the Baltic coast. He then looked inward into France and quickly became arguably the most powerful vassal of the King of France. As he continued to expand his lands, he then joined the French not too long ago in a war against the rebels, and now has passed away at age 65. But Duke Fulk d'Anjou, also known in his life as the heroic, the quarrelsome, and the rude, has passed away, and now we move on to the next chapter in our quest to build the Angevin dynasty, and with Duke Joffrey of Anjou, who now inherits sizable holdings and could be argued as being, the most powerful vassal in France. Possibly the Duke of Toulouse would push that claim. The Gascogne will not, even a little bit. Obviously, King Henry is the king. If we take a look here, Flanders, they're pretty strong. Champagne is rebuilding. Burgundy is very strong. So I would say the most powerful vassals of France are the Duchy of Burgundy, the Duchy of Toulouse, Auvergne, possibly. And there we can see the sister, and Berry. Aquitaine, possibly as well. But we are now with Duke Joffrey, who has lover's pox, which can be inherited. He is known as a crusader due to being part of the Baltic Crusade. He is also a hunter, something he gained from his father. A tough soldier. He is chaste, gluttonous, and forgiving. He is homosexual, but that doesn't matter even the slightest bit. He is married to Duchess Gertruda of Berry, who is a covetous knave. Now, he doesn't have anything there, but she also has lover's pox and is rakish. So Gertruda spends so much time in the brothel that it has become her second home. Yikes. Though I assume he got lover's pox from his wife. His titles are the Count of Blois, Count of Anjou, Count of Vendôme, Count of Touraine, Duke of Poitiers, and Duke of Berry. He has unpressed claims on the Duchy of Anjou, the Duchy of Gascogne, and the pressed claim on the Duchy of Champagne. Now, again, just before Fulk's death, he gained the claim on the Duchy of Gascogne, so this was huge, actually. Now, as far as his relationships go, Joffrey has an excellent relationship with his mother. He also has good relationships with his children. Fulk d'Anjou, he's got it 100, who's middling at best. And Geoffrey d'Anjou, his youngest son, who's 4 years old, the Thinker, who's pensive, also has a good relationship with him. Now, if we take a closer look, he is diplomacy, he's average there. He is good martial, so he inherited the warrior-like traits of his father. He may not have been quite as good as father, but significantly more diplomatic, and that will play into how I play Joffrey. He's average at stewardship, poor at intrigue, poor at learning, but he's pretty good on the field of battle. Of course, he is Catholic and French. He has 1,000 in prestige. His piety is quite high, actually, and he's gaining more and more piety. So, unlike his father, he's not losing anything there. We're losing money right now simply because of raised armies. So that is Joffrey. He's got a good relationship with his brother Julien and his sister, the Duchess Ermengarde of Auvergne. So with Julien, I think he's not an intrigue. He's not like his father, Fulk, the rude, quarrelsome. So Joffrey, we're going to play him differently. The way I'm looking at it is he is militaristic. He's very good. He thinks strategically as a general would. He's significantly more diplomatic than his father, who had not an ounce of diplomacy in him. So he'll be more diplomatic, he'll be more strategic, or he'll be about as strategic, but he's not into intrigue like his father was. If we look at Fulk again, Fulk had 11, that's okay, but Fulk had the terrible learning at the end, intrigue was better, stewardship, this was at the end where he was feeble, but at the height, Fulk was very, he was a scoundrel, to say the least. We all know the truth of what happened to his brother Joffrey, after whom this duke is named. So the plan here is not really to go the intrigue route, it's going to be more diplomatic. Now that could change over time, depending on what happens, but that is the direction Joffrey's going right now. So we have a ton of things here to get to while still being at war. We need to look for a physician. So we will, actually, let's take a look real quick at our court and council. At the court, poor physician Renaud is still there. He is a powerful agent in hostile schemes against him. Okay. So let's take a look here at factions. Got a Liberty faction. We've got nothing there. So he is... interesting. Interesting that Renaud, the irrational gentleman, is a powerful agent hostile scheme against him. So we will fire him. We'll actually see if we can replace him with anybody. There's nobody really here that's good, but we will fire him. We'll revoke that title. Cost 200 prestige, but I'm not going to have a physician who's in a hostile scheme against us. So instead we're going to search for a new physician there. Pay homage, which we will do eventually. Invite knights. Okay, so grand tournaments, grand tour. We're not going to do that. Lifestyle chosen, martial. He is, like his father, more martial. He's going down the gallant tree right now and almost done there. So he will become gallant eventually. So we are going to go strategy, authority, or chivalry. Is he more chivalrous? He's not an authority person. Luck can win a duel, fool can win a battle. He is more strategic, I would say, than chivalrous. So we're going to go down strategy focus, and then the martial perk gallant will automatically unlock there. If we look at him, also he's already 40 years old, so we can't discount that. He's feeling fine, so we're picking him up at a significantly more advanced age than his father was. And then we have empty council positions. We need a marshal. So here, Count Raoul the Honest, who's a vassal and a knight, who is powerful vassal, who is demanding a position. So he will become the marshal. A new spy master. So Barthélemy, who is also a powerful vassal. So he will become the spy master, and we will do disrupting schemes. Chancellor is Renaud. Renaud, of course, was the man that we dismissed from that one position. He is a powerful agent against us, but he is the most astute chancellor. Again, we're going to keep an eye on him if he becomes too problematic. I just didn't think it was smart to have someone as an agent in a scheme against us as a physician. We'll keep an eye on him as chancellor. The marshal is increasing county control in Lucillon. We won't change that. And we will keep Guillaume de Mons as our steward. And here we are fabricating claims still. So we will keep that going as well. Your realm does not endorse you, so we need to work on swaying him. Mainly because that gives us extra money in the coffers. Now let's look down here. We've got claims. Kingdom of Galicia, the Kingdom of Hungary, and then Pisa, Venice, and Lotharingia. The Duchy of Gascogne. We already have a claim there. Duchy of Armagnac, Duchy of Flanders, Spoleto, Capua, Brabant, and Lower Lorraine. So there's a lot there. Wars that can be declared. Let's get rid of that. Leopold the Bald and Julien of Champagne. Not really looking at that. We can create the Duchy of Orléans. Got a potential alliance. You can negotiate alliances. So Julien, immediately going to negotiate that alliance. Robert of Macon, that one as well. Uncle-in-law, Barthélemy, and Count Renaud the Bloody. We are going to negotiate that alliance as well. Other alliances, Duke Baudouin, he will not go for it. Count Guillaume of Auxerre will not as either. So uncle and brother-in-law will not do that. Let's see, who else is there? Thibaut II, the Shy of Chartres, and Countess Eva of Poitiers are looking at wanting to be on the council. Inheritance. You are in line, so the heir in line. You are in line to inherit the Kingdom of Pomerania, the Duchy of Pomerania, the Duchy of Champagne, and then all of these holdings there, the County of Reims, and all these holdings there on the Baltic coast. And the heir is in line, our heir, obviously, for all of these things as well. Other than that, I'm not going to worry about grabbing claims just yet. Let's take a look at Countess Eva. She has claims on the Duchy of Gascony. I don't really want to push that one. Thibaut the Shy. He has claims on, let's get rid of this, the county of Orléans, which could be interesting, but I think that's held by someone in the family. It is King Henri. So he's got Amiens as well. Current holder is Count Simon de Valois. So Valois as well. Touraine, which is ours, and the Earldom of Maine. So Thibault could be the gateway into the holdings of Anjou. So we'll just have to keep an eye on that. Don't really want to get, basically wrestle away the Duchy of Gascony. What are other claims down here? So Angoulême. The county of Angoulême is interesting because it is here within Aquitaine. Other holdings on Nice is also an Aquitaine. I mean, she basically, yes, she has the Duchy of Poitiers and the Duchy of Gascony. I don't care about that. But Aquitaine lands, that could be the one that's of interest to us. To press her claims, to gain that, and gain her favor. Let's take a look here. Who's leading the army? We need a new army commander. And I could put... Yes, I think what we will do is we will have the Duke himself leading, simply because, well, he is his father's son. But we are still rebuilding our army there, and now we'll just wait for all those, the varying alliances to be finalized. In the meantime, so Barthélemy, fantastic. He has significantly better relationships with everybody than his father did. That's to say the least. So take a look at this, the Battle of Contré. Marvelous news between the King of England and Count Rogier of Foix of Toulouse. So he will destroy that. Court physician. Got a few here. Apparently Thomas is quite experienced. Let's take a look at Thomas. He is wounded, athletic, reckless. I don't know if we would necessarily want a reckless man. And we have Margot, who is a traveling pilgrim and a drunkard. Well, Thomas is the better option of the two. Someone who's, wounded over someone who's a drunkard. And that battle will be over here shortly. So the enemy is being defeated in the field. Let's take a look here. We're almost back. We will actually just move the troops down. Actually, let's move to Chartres. And we can see the English army in the field is besieging Orléans. Vierzon instead. Notable guest has arrived. We have an excommunication. Prince Guedouin has been excommunicated. Greetings, Sir Geoffrey. I have prowled through the documents. And yes, we are the Count of Anjou. Actually, no. It would push us beyond our holdings, and we could press this claim for our vassal and make her happy. So I cannot. We will just leave that be. I'm not going to worry about Aquitaine just yet. This uprising is almost done. Going to move our troops now down to Tours and just rebuild at home. Yes, there's Reims is being besieged. I'm not worried about that. We've got a siege here now at Orléans by the English, and that should be done here shortly. And with that, the war, it's almost over a 98% war score. So their one battle is 99%. It's ticking. If they can defeat this army near Valois, They just need to knock over the army. Oh, it's at 100%, so this war will be over here shortly. Victory! We won the war led by King Henri against Prince Galduin of France. So be it, and we can disband our military, start rebuilding our coffers a little bit. Grand Tour, no. Petition the liege, and we can pay homage. Pledge allegiance to my liege. I think that might be a good, sound strategy for Joffrey as the new Duke of Berry to do that. Now, if we look down south, we can see how broken up the lands are to the south now. I mean, it's... The French holdings have grown significantly, which really bothers me. We've got the Duchy here of Armagnac. We have here the Count of Albret, of Marsan. We have Aquitaine sitting here. Limousin, La Marche, Duchy of Auvergne. I mean, basically, the king has completely broken up Toulouse and Gascony. So Gascon and Toulouse as duchies don't exist anymore. At least not right now. Aquitaine does. What this does, of course, it bumps up the prestige or the power within the realm of Joffrey. What are the other claims we could get here? Let's go through these again. Armagnac and Flanders. Ooh, Flanders, that's a lot of money. That would be a great one. But not really looking in that direction, to be perfectly honest. There's nobody here. I mean, we have the King of France, who is just so powerful now. I mean, we could actually declare a war for him, for our claims, which is the Duchy of Gascony. But that would be, I think we call that suicide. So Gascony will just kind of leave off to the side right now. But throw an eye at Aquitaine. But the first major act that our new ruler, that Joffrey is going to do, he's going to move the realm capital to Angers. And he will move it there, and now the traditional Anjou capital of Angers is now the realm capital. So that's just a distinction for the future, to be perfectly honest. We'll move the rally point as well to Angers. Haven't quite decided which way to go with that pronunciation. If you know the correct pronunciation, please do let me know. You can construct a new... Oh, be my benign vassal, you have been loyal and devoted subject. I wish to reward you for your service and recognition. I hereby offering you the position of Marshal of France. So the same position that Fulk, our father, had. Excellent, excellent. There's really nothing we can build here. Just don't have the money. I'm not really worried about that at this time. We could upgrade some of our buildings here. Eventually. Not at this time. We could upgrade our walls and towers to a bailey. So that bumps up the fort level. I think we're going to do that. It kicks up the supply level as well, increases our garrison, drops danger. Fort level +2, that puts it to a 5 for our capital. I think that is definitely the smart way to go. Tours was a 4, so Angers. I have to look it up. I'll figure it out. No worries there. It just makes more sense this way. Now, the Fox of Tours needs a worthy successor. So let's take a look here. Right now, the Fox of Tours is Guillaume de Mons, which is kind of interesting. Seek accolade successor. So we will do that. Are we looking for knights? We have plenty. I'm not, we've got 12 of 12 knights. What do our knights look like? I mean, really, Bourmont should be the head there. You know, we really could use some better knights. We invite knights. Cost 150 prestige. We have the prestige. Send the herald out to find some knights. Well, we can ask head of our faith for gold. That is definitely something that wasn't available before. That would cost 250. Every zealot loses 10 opinion. 165 gold. You know what? We're just going to keep that in the bank right now. No pun intended. And just wait a little bit until we absolutely would need that. We look at our military right now. We're looking okay. Not great, but okay. I think recruiting some more pikemen would actually be a good idea. So they get bonus in hills, desert mountains, and in mountains. They're good against cavalry, especially. We take a look at our light footmen, jungle, taiga, and forests. We will fight a little bit more in forests. They're a little bit cheaper than the pikemen. So we are going to bump those guys up at this point. And we've got some knights. Looter has arrived. He's a lisping knight. I'm not too worried about that. Let's take a look at our knights. How good is he? 12. What would be the cost to recruit him to court? 65 gold. You know, I think we'll do that. And then what we'll do is, you know, we'll forbid some of these guys down here. I mean, forbidding him would be good anyway. So we're down 1. But we're still waiting on knights, so I guess we will allow Amelin to be our knight until somebody better shows up. We swayed Ubald de Guyenne. Ah, perfect. Critic guest is to court, so we're good there. And now let's take a quick look at our courtiers. If there's anybody in here we need to worry about specifically. Not particularly that I'm overly concerned with. Vassals who don't like us. I think Count Thibault. Definitely need to work on swaying him to become more friendly with us. And then Countess Ava as well. But with Countess Ava, actually, we will be looking at pressing her claims and moving south. So we've already got everybody that we need. I think it's time to pay homage. It's going to cost 100 prestige. God, we're just spending a lot of prestige right now. We can choose an homage gift. How are we sitting right now with our liege, the king? I'm sitting okay, actually, with him. So I'm not overly concerned there, but we can pay homage to be closer to him. What's the relationship here with the King of England? Better than our father, that's for sure. No doubt there, so that's good to know. Ah, she's no longer married. He passed away. I wonder if there's anybody that we can arrange a marriage with. 5-year-old Joffrey. That'd be, oh, accept it. 17 years old. The recipient is Duke of East Anglia. Huh. Don't know about that one. The worthy Louis Estouin may be appointed the Fox of Tours. Successor. Okay. So we'll go here. The successor, Louis, our knight. Okay. Perfect. Joffrey learned the Kittic language through observation. Excellent. All right, it's time to look for a guardian for Joffrey. And who should be a good guardian to teach him the ways? What is he leaning towards? Learning and stewardship. Learning and stewardship. stewardship. Guillaume de Mont, our steward, an acclaimed knight. His stewardship is 23. I think that would be a good teacher to educate him. I like that. I like that a lot. What do we have here? The Count Rogier will invite us. Rogier, County of Foix. I think it might be time to go on a hunt. You have to leave within 23 days. We will accept our first invitation as Count Geoffrey. And we have our caravan master and Margarita de Limoges. Travel options. Who do we add here? Add a forder, which might not be bad. Floodplains, not worried about that. A forest guide. We will hire some mercenary guards. And we will hire a forest guide. And we will join Rogier's hunt. Captain Philippe has been added. Emery as well. And I think that's a good place to end today's episode. So there's a lot going on. We haven't really progressed much. He's only 41 years old, but a lot has happened. We have a new duke. We have a changing of the guards. Fulk was obviously fondly remembered. Let me know your favorite memories of Duke Fulk over the 10 full episodes that we kind of walked the path of Fulk's life with him, and what your expectations are for Joffrey. You can leave those down in the comments below. As always, likes are greatly appreciated. I love how everyone's really getting involved with this series on the channel and the comments you've left. A few of you have left some kind of in-character comments, which I absolutely love. So maybe petition Joffrey for a specific course of action. Who knows what happens. And if you're looking for ways to support the channel beyond likes and subscriptions and comments, there's a link down below to the Nexus GG store where you can buy certain games, including Crusader Kings 3. And then a little bit of the money goes back to the channel. And there is Patreon as well. There's a link down in the description to the channel's Patreon channel, where I'm doing a lot of things both around strategy wargaming or strategy gaming in general, as well as role-playing game content. So check that out. I'm still working on things to do there. Maybe some historical articles in future. We'll see. It all comes down to time. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Until next time, I'm Realm Builder Guy, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.